Good afternoon, everybody from the Big Island of Hawaii. I'm coming at you from Fern Forest this afternoon, and the reason I am is I'm getting ready to install my breakers here into my Midnite Solar 6-string combiner. Now what this is, basically, if you guys are used to a little bit of electricity, this is kind of like a circuit breaker box in a regular house, and these are also like circuit breakers, kind of, that's in a regular home. But these are DC breakers, which is very important because all solar panels go in DC. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'll show you how to put this all together. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and we're gonna get started here. So let's go ahead and unpack our Midnite Solar Inc. combiner here. It seems like this company here is pretty much the standard of the industry. They are made in the United States of America, which I like, but it seems like everybody on the island goes with these. I think they hold up better to our caustic atmosphere we have here with our solar and or not our solar, I'm sorry, with our saltwater air that we have, and also with a little bit of acid rain we have from the volcano. So let's go ahead and open this up. It's a nice, really beautiful box. Get this out of the way. We're going to open this up and we're going to show you the insides, and we'll show you exactly how to put everything together, show you where the wires go, and this is going to be part one in a series that we're going to be doing. And usually they put these screws in here very hard. They're not trying to be mean to you, they're just doing that so they don't come out during shipping. Now when you take this screw out, keep in mind there's this little bitty washer right here, and it's real good at getting away on you, but don't lose that. That's called a star washer. And that's there to keep this screw from backseating and coming out over a period of time for vibration and stuff. You're not going to have vibration at all or anything, but that's what that washer's there. It actually has a purpose. They're not spending money putting it there just to put it there. So let's open this up and see what we have, everybody. We got some instructions here, a little mini one. We got some stickers we're going to put on at a later time. And this is the actual box. But to get this out, we have to first pop this cover. It's kind of funny how you do it. You got to take your screwdriver over here, and it's definitely going to wake everybody up when this pops. But you put this right here and you give it a bump like that on one side, come over here on the other side, do the same thing, but I hit it hard enough both sides came loose. Once this is removed, we'll just set this off to the side. Then you can actually get in here and pop this up and out. There's little tabs right here, and those tabs will end up going in these little holes right here when we put it back together. It's going to go in right there with the tabs, and we snap it back into place when we're ready. So we're going to put that off to the side for now. And if you look in here, they have some hardware. They got it strapped down with a little wire tie so it doesn't go anywhere, which is good. And this is very important, pretty funny. Just reminding you, this is high voltage. You are not messing around. Be very, very careful with this if you do it on your own. Make sure you know what you're doing. So, all right, let's set that aside and let's get into this. Pretty straightforward. We're going to go ahead and pop this out of here. That out of there. We're going to get out our hardware here, and we're basically the easiest way to do this. Let's separate this screw so we don't mix it up with the hardware screw, so we're not trying to screw screws in holes they don't fit in. So let's get the hardware. I like to put everything out on the table to make it easy to find. So we'll set this back here, and then we have another bag with a little bit more hardware in it. These are going to be the lugs that the big wires hook into. So let's just get these out here on the table, out of this little thing here. Now, the way these work, these are like circuit breakers. And what I'm going to do for every 2 panels, there's going to be a string coming off every one of my 2 panels. That's why they call this a string combiner. Each one of these is going to have a string from 2 actual solar panels. So they call it a combiner because we're going to feed into the back side of these with each string. And then we're going to use this big metal plate here to combine them all together. And then we're going to put this metal lug on there, and that's where you're going to get your main power hookup going into the actual out back system. So let's get started here, guys. It's pretty simple and easy how to do this. First thing you want to do is, we need a longer one. This one's shorter if you don't need as many, but we have more than that. So we're going to go ahead, you grab this little guy right here. I like to put the shiny side out so it looks nice when you open it up. Not that that's a big deal. You got these little guys here. There's 2 of them. One goes on one side, one goes on the other. And when you put these in, make sure that when you do, these are going to end up going into these like this. And it's going to sit up here. So when you put these in, make sure that your hole is facing down and up, not sideways. Okay, see that hole right there? You want it facing like this when you tighten it down. So we're going to go ahead and do that over here. Let's flip this thing around. We'll set this little guy here. And here they are with their little fancy star washers. That's really nice they put those in. A lot of companies don't do this anymore. But I'm glad they do. They're kind of hard to work with when you got big meat hooks like I do. Anyhow, let's get this screwdriver in here. See if you can get this little guy started. And then we're going to want to flip it over and make sure we have the hole going the right way, like I told you. And yep, it's going the right way. So let's go ahead and tighten that down right there. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to line it up, make sure your hole is facing up and down. Set it this way. That's where the screw goes in. We're going to get this little guy here. We're going to put our star washer on there. And we're going to set it there. Try to hold it in place with one hand. Get our Phillips head started with the other. And it's okay if it turns a little bit when you're screwing it down. That's no problem. But when you do get it a little bit tight, let's turn them over and make sure they're lined up. They don't have to be perfect, but you don't want to make it look like a second grader did this either. So we're going to try to line them up nice, tighten them up nice and snug. This is electricity going through this. Anytime you have any loose connection, that adds up resistance. And the name of the game here is the less resistance we have, the better we are. So let's make sure this is tight. This one's being a little difficult, but that's the way it goes. Let's make sure we got it nice and snug. There we go. And we'll double check that. All right, very good. So now let's take this and set this out of the way so I can show you how we're going to do these little combiners here. Like I said, these are all, they're basically little circuit breakers. So we're going to take these, make sure these holes are opened up enough that they go in. And then if you look, these little barbs right here are going to go right in where the electric wires go on a regular circuit breaker. So we're going to stick those right in like that. We're going to lay it on a side like this and try to hold everything together. Now what's important, this can be a little wobbly, not too much, but you want the lines along here lined up and you want the lines along here lined up. Because when you're over and done, these have to have a cover that goes in place over them, and you don't want to have to fiddle around with them, getting them in place to make the cover fit. So let's go ahead and start screwing these down. We'll do one at a time. Again, we're going to try to keep them as even as possible. And we'll do one after another. And very, very important, again, double check all your screws here and make sure that everything is tight. Electricity's worst nightmare friend is a loose connection. Okay, so I'm going to hold it like this so I get a better grip on it. I'm going to put some meat on there. Make sure those little guys are nice and tight. Like that. And then when you're done, very, very important, make sure you grab them and make sure that they're attached. Should be able to shake them, no problem. And you know you're good. Okay, now let's get this up here. We'll show you how we attach these to this unit right here. It's a pretty easy, straightforward deal. If you look right here, I'm going to flip these over here and show you the bottom side. There's little yellow levers here. And these are actually locks. So you're going to take and you're going to pull these levers out like this. You're going to flip this back. And you're going to see there's a little, kind of a little slot right here. That slot is going to line up with this slot right here. So you're going to set it in like that and put it there. Now, normally you'd want to go ahead and put this into place and lock it down. The way you lock it down is by pushing these little yellow locks back in place where I pulled them out in the first place. But if we tighten it down here and we go to put this into place, it's not in the right place. So what you want to do is, first of all, they have 2 of these knocked out for you already. We're going to have 4 of these. So we want to knock out 3 and 4 to make room for all of our breakers. So let's go ahead and do that. You can use either a razor knife or anything like that. But you first break here, break there, and then you can work it back and forth, and that'll snap it right there. Due to the dangers of razor knives, I recommend some type of snips or something instead of a razor knife. Then just get in there and pop that. I'm going to do these one at a time. So now it's open to 3. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got to do 1 more of these guys. So we'll crack it there. And there. And we're going to pop that out. Now, if we had 2 more string combinations coming in from the solar off of the roof, we would pop those out, but we don't. So we're going to leave those in place so you don't have open holes. We're going to clean this up a little bit so it'll fit around the breakers. That looks pretty good. So we're going to make sure these are lined up. We'll kind of just set this in place. It looks like we're going to have to slide over a little bit. And this is just so you don't have a big headache when it comes time. I think we're getting pretty close, guys. Let's go ahead and scoot it just a little bit. That looks pretty close. So I'm going to set this off to the side. And then if you look down here, if you come in from an angle here, Pam, and thank you, Pam, for filming this for me. I really appreciate it. We're going to hold this down. We're going to push that in place. And you hear it snap? Mm-hmm. That means it's locked in. So now that that is locked in place, we are set. So the way that the wiring goes on this system is that your power wire, your hot wire, which would be your red wire, off of the roof, the solar panels, is going to, each string is going to come into this side right here. Okay, and then all those are going to be combined and they're going to come out of this and go to your solar controller. All the negatives coming off of your roof solar panels are all going to come over here where it says PV negative. So all your powers come into here, they get combined and come out here and here. That's why they call it a combiner to begin with. All of your negatives go on this side, and this little bar over here says ground. This is where the wire that is on your ground up on the roof, the rails are you're gonna want your rails grounded. That is where you're gonna hook that wire up. So let's go ahead and put this together. If we got it lined up okay, we should be able to make everything work. And that's pretty much in a nutshell, guys, how it goes here. Let me see if I can get this in place. There's that. It looks like that's lined up pretty good. You snap that in. And obviously this came out by force, so you gotta go back in by force. So you just kind of get it started if you can here. 1 second. Not real easy. There you go. Give it a big smack. And then you got your little screw over here you put aside so you didn't mix it up with your others. You're gonna take that, and you're gonna put that back in there. And when you get that screwed in all the way, you gotta get it lined up first or it's not gonna work. Okay, guys, there you go. And just to give you a heads up, the reason I'm teaching you guys how to do this is to save some money. Right now, the going rate is $1 per watt to have this stuff installed. Our unit, we have 14 445 watt solar panels on the roof, so we have $6,230 worth of install. We're going to do it ourselves, and we're going to show you every step of the way so you do not have to spend that kind of money. You guys have a great night out there. I hope this helps you out. Thank you.